how to unlock your full potential. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve extraordinary things while others spend their entire lives wondering what could have been? The answer is not talent. It's not luck, and it's certainly not where you come from. The difference begins with one simple decision. The decision to discover who you truly are and what you're truly capable of becoming. Every single one of us is born with untapped potential. Yet most people never unlock it. They settle for comfort instead of growth, fear instead of courage, and excuses instead of action. But here's the truth: your potential is not something you find. It's something you build. It's revealed every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you choose discipline over distraction, and every time you refuse to give up on yourself. Today, I want to share with you how to break through the limits you've placed on your own life, how to develop the mindset of high achievers, and how to unlock the greatness that already exists within you. Because the life you want is not waiting somewhere in the future. It starts the moment you decide to become the person you're capable of being. Most people spend their lives focusing on what they do. They focus on their job title, their daily tasks, their goals, and the responsibilities that fill their schedule. Some focus on how they do things. They take pride in their skills, their strategies, and their methods. But very few people take the time to understand why they do what they do. That simple question, why, has the power to transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. Your why is not about making money, gaining recognition, or achieving success. Those are results. Your why is the deeper reason behind your actions. It is the belief that drives you forward when motivation disappears. It is the purpose that gives meaning to your efforts. When you know your why, every decision becomes clearer because you are no longer moving randomly through life. You are moving in a direction that aligns with who you truly are. Many people wake up every morning and follow the same routine without ever questioning why they are doing it. They chase goals because society tells them they should. They pursue careers because others expect it. They compare themselves to people on social media and begin running races they never wanted to join in the first place. Over time, they become busy but not fulfilled. They achieve milestones but still feel empty. They work harder and harder, hoping the next accomplishment will finally bring satisfaction. The reason this happens is simple. Achievement without purpose often creates temporary excitement, but rarely creates lasting fulfillment. You can reach the top of a mountain only to discover it was the wrong mountain. You can spend years climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Without a clear why, success can feel surprisingly meaningless. Think about the moments when you felt most alive. Think about the experiences that gave you energy instead of draining it. Think about the activities that made you lose track of time because you were fully engaged. These moments often contain clues about your deeper purpose. They reveal what matters to you beyond rewards and recognition. They point toward the values that define who you are. Discovering your why requires honesty. It requires looking beyond what others expect from you and asking difficult questions. What truly matters to me? What impact do I want to make? What kind of person do I want to become? What would I continue doing even if nobody applauded me for it? These questions force you to look inward instead of outward. They shift your attention away from comparison and towards self-discovery. One of the biggest obstacles to finding your why is fear. Many people are afraid of what they might discover. They fear that their true passions may not fit society's definition of success. They fear disappointing others. They fear uncertainty. As a result, they stay in situations that feel safe but unfulfilling. They silence the voice inside them that is calling for something greater. The challenge is that potential cannot fully emerge when it is disconnected from purpose. You may possess incredible talents, but if those talents are directed towards something that does not inspire you, your growth will always be limited. Passion creates energy. Purpose creates endurance. When challenges appear, talent alone is not enough. Skill alone is not enough. What keeps you moving forward is a reason that is bigger than the obstacle in front of you. People who understand their why often demonstrate remarkable resilience. They face setbacks just like everyone else. They experience failure, rejection, criticism, and uncertainty. The difference is that these obstacles do not define them. Their purpose gives them a reason to continue. Their why becomes an anchor during difficult times. While others quit when things get hard, they keep going because their mission matters more than their discomfort. Your why also influences the people around you. Purpose is contagious. People are naturally drawn to individuals who know what they stand for. They trust them. They respect them. They feel inspired by them. A clear sense of purpose creates authenticity, and authenticity creates connection. When you understand your why, you stop trying to impress people and start focusing on serving them. You stop chasing approval and start creating impact. Finding your why is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing journey of awareness and growth. As you gain new experiences, your understanding of yourself deepens. Your purpose becomes clearer. The key is remaining curious about who you are and what drives you. Instead of rushing through life searching for answers outside yourself, spend time listening to what truly matters within you. Many people believe they need more confidence before pursuing their purpose. In reality, confidence often comes after taking action. You discover your strengths by using them. You discover your values by living them. You discover your purpose by exploring, learning, and growing. Clarity rarely arrives before movement. It often appears because of movement. When your actions are connected to a meaningful purpose, even ordinary tasks take on new significance. Challenges become opportunities to grow. Setbacks become lessons instead of defeats. Hard work becomes more sustainable because it is connected to something you genuinely care about. Purpose changes not only what you do, but also how you experience what you do. The journey toward unlocking your full potential begins with understanding the reason behind your actions. Before focusing on goals, focus on purpose. Before asking what you want to achieve, ask why it matters. Before seeking external success, seek internal clarity. The stronger your connection to your why, the stronger your foundation becomes. Every dream, every ambition, every achievement gains greater meaning when it is built upon a purpose that reflects who you truly are. Every person is born with immense potential, yet many never come close to realizing what they are truly capable of achieving. The reason is often not a lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. The reason is the invisible barrier created by limiting beliefs. These beliefs act like mental walls, restricting growth and convincing people that certain goals are beyond their reach. They shape decisions, influence behavior, and determine how individuals respond to challenges. Most importantly, they create a version of reality that feels true, even when it is completely false. A limiting belief is an assumption you accept about yourself, others, or the world that holds you back from reaching your full potential. It can sound like, I'm not smart enough. I'm too old to start. People like me never succeed. I don't have what it takes. Or failure means I'm not capable. These thoughts may seem harmless at first, but when repeated often enough, they become part of your identity. They stop being opinions and start becoming personal truths. The dangerous thing about limiting beliefs is that they rarely announce themselves as obstacles. Instead, they disguise themselves as facts. They feel logical. They feel reasonable. They feel safe. Because of this, many people never question them. They simply accept them and build their lives around them. They avoid opportunities, lower their expectations, and settle for less than they deserve because they believe their limitations are permanent. Most limiting beliefs are not created by reality. They are created by experiences, environments, and interpretations. A person who failed at something in the past may begin believing they are incapable. Someone who was criticized repeatedly as a child may grow up believing they are not talented. A single rejection can convince someone they are not worthy. One difficult experience can become the foundation of a belief that lasts for decades. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it is also highly influenced by repetition. When you tell yourself the same story over and over again, your brain begins to accept it as truth. Eventually, your actions start matching that belief. If you believe you are not capable of success, you may stop trying when challenges appear. If you believe you are not good enough, you may avoid opportunities that could change your life. The belief creates behavior, and the behavior creates results that seem to confirm the belief. This is why limiting beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. People expect failure, so they act cautiously. They avoid risks, hesitate during important moments, and give up too quickly. When things don't work out, they point to the result as evidence that they were right all along. In reality, the belief influenced the outcome from the beginning. Breaking limiting beliefs starts with awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Many people spend years fighting external obstacles while ignoring the internal stories controlling their decisions. The first step is identifying the thoughts that repeatedly hold you back. Pay attention to the excuses you make. Notice the reasons you give yourself for not pursuing your goals. Listen carefully to the language you use when describing your abilities. Whenever you hear yourself saying, "I can't," ask yourself why. Is it truly impossible, or is it simply uncomfortable? Is there actual evidence supporting that belief, or are you relying on assumptions formed years ago? Often, when people examine their limiting beliefs closely, they discover that those beliefs are built on weak foundations. What felt like certainty turns out to be nothing more than fear disguised as logic. Another important step is recognizing that failure does not define your identity. Many limiting beliefs are born from negative experiences. People fail once and conclude they are failures. They face rejection and conclude they are unworthy. They struggle with a skill and conclude they lack talent. These conclusions ignore a simple truth: experiences are temporary, but growth is continuous. A setback may describe a moment, but it does not describe a person. Every successful individual has faced obstacles, disappointments, and mistakes. The difference is that they refuse to turn those experiences into permanent beliefs. Instead of viewing failure as proof of weakness, they viewed it as part of the learning process. They understood that growth requires discomfort and that progress often comes through repeated attempts. Limiting beliefs also thrive in environments where comparison dominates. When people constantly compare themselves to others, they begin focusing on what they lack rather than what they possess. They see someone else's success and assume they could never achieve something similar. They compare their beginning to someone else's middle or end. This creates feelings of inadequacy that strengthen negative beliefs. The truth is that every person's journey is unique. Different backgrounds, experiences, opportunities, and challenges create different paths. Comparing yourself to others often distracts you from your own potential. The goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to become the strongest version of yourself. Confidence plays a major role in overcoming limiting beliefs, but confidence is not something people are born with. It is developed through action. Every time you do something that challenges your assumptions, you weaken the power of limiting beliefs. Every time you take a risk, learn a new skill, speak up despite fear, or persist through difficulty, you gather evidence that contradicts the negative story in your mind. The more evidence you collect, the harder it becomes for limiting beliefs to survive. They lose credibility because your actions prove otherwise. What once seemed impossible begins to feel achievable. What once felt intimidating becomes familiar. Growth expands your perspective, and a broader perspective reveals possibilities you could not previously see. Breaking free from limiting beliefs does not mean fear disappears. Fear is a natural part of growth. The difference is that fear no longer controls your decisions. Instead of allowing doubt to dictate your future, you choose to move forward despite uncertainty. You stop treating your current limitations as permanent truths and start viewing them as temporary challenges that can be overcome through effort, learning, and persistence. Every great achievement begins with a shift in belief. Before a person changes their results, they must change the story they tell themselves about what is possible. The moment you challenge the beliefs that have been holding you back, you create space for new opportunities, greater confidence, stronger action, and a version of yourself that is capable of far more than you ever imagined. Growth and comfort rarely exist in the same place. Every person wants success, confidence, achievement, and fulfillment, but very few people are willing to leave the environment where they feel completely safe. The comfort zone is attractive because it provides familiarity. It offers predictability, routine, and security. Within its boundaries, there is little risk of failure, embarrassment, or uncertainty. While comfort can feel pleasant in the moment, it often becomes one of the greatest obstacles to unlocking your full potential. The comfort zone is not necessarily a physical place. It is a mental and emotional space where activities feel familiar and manageable. It includes habits, routines, and behaviors that require little effort or courage. Staying within this space can create a temporary sense of stability, but over time it limits growth. The more comfortable people become, the less willing they are to challenge themselves. As a result, their potential remains hidden beneath layers of fear and routine. Many people mistakenly believe that they need to feel ready before pursuing something bigger. They wait for confidence before taking action. They wait for certainty before making a decision. They wait for fear to disappear before trying something new. The problem is that readiness is often created through action, not before it. Confidence is developed by facing challenges, not by avoiding them. Courage is built by stepping into uncertainty, not by remaining in familiar territory. Imagine someone standing at the edge of a swimming pool, wanting to learn how to swim. They can read books about swimming, watch videos, and listen to experts explain techniques, but eventually they must enter the water. Real growth begins when theory becomes action. The same principle applies to every area of life. Knowledge is valuable, but transformation happens when people move beyond observation and start participating. One reason people resist leaving their comfort zones is the fear of failure. Failure can be uncomfortable because it challenges the image people have of themselves. It exposes weaknesses, mistakes, and areas for improvement. Yet failure is often one of the most powerful teachers a person can encounter. Every successful individual has experienced setbacks. Every expert was once a beginner. Every achievement was preceded by moments of uncertainty and struggle. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck is not the absence of fear. It is their willingness to act despite fear. Fear itself is not a signal to stop. In many cases, fear is a sign that something important is happening. It often appears when people are approaching opportunities that have the potential to change their lives. The challenge is learning to recognize fear as part of the journey rather than a reason to retreat. Stepping outside your comfort zone often begins with small actions. Many people assume they need to make dramatic changes overnight. They believe growth requires massive risks in life, altering decisions. While major breakthroughs can occur, lasting transformation is usually built through consistent small steps. A person who fears public speaking may start by sharing ideas in small groups. Someone who wants to improve their fitness may begin with short daily workouts. Someone hoping to start a business may take the first step by learning a new skill or creating a simple plan. These small actions may seem insignificant at first, but they create momentum. Each time you challenge yourself, you expand the boundaries of what feels possible. Activities that once seemed intimidating gradually become familiar. As your comfort zone expands, new opportunities become accessible. What was once outside your reach begins to feel achievable. Growth requires discomfort because discomfort signals adaptation. Consider how muscles develop through exercise. Strength increases when muscles are challenged beyond their current capacity. The process is demanding, but the challenge creates improvement. Personal growth follows a similar pattern. Mental strength, emotional resilience, and self-confidence develop when people face situations that stretch their abilities. Unfortunately, many people spend years avoiding discomfort. They choose short-term ease over long-term growth. They stay in jobs that no longer inspire them because change feels risky. They avoid difficult conversations because conflict feels uncomfortable. They postpone goals because uncertainty creates anxiety. While these decisions may provide temporary relief, they often lead to frustration and regret. Regret can be far more painful than failure. Failure teaches lessons and creates opportunities for growth. Regret lingers because it represents possibilities that were never explored. It comes from knowing that fear prevented action. Many people reach a point in life where they realize the opportunities they avoided mattered more than the mistakes they made. Another challenge associated with leaving the comfort zone is the fear of judgment. People often worry about what others might think if they fail, make mistakes, or pursue unconventional goals. This concern can become a powerful barrier to progress. The desire for approval causes individuals to limit themselves in order to fit within the expectations of others. The reality is that no matter what path you choose, some people will support you while others may criticize you. If you allow the opinions of others to control your decisions, your potential becomes dependent on external validation. Personal growth requires the courage to remain focused on your own journey, even when others do not understand it. Every meaningful accomplishment requires entering unfamiliar territory. New opportunities exist beyond the boundaries of routine. New skills are developed through practice and experimentation. New levels of confidence emerge through repeated exposure to challenges. Every step outside the comfort zone strengthens resilience and expands capability. The process is not always comfortable. There will be moments of doubt